The price of Bitcoin today continues its rise, currently sat at $22,562. The market is continuing to rise. It's fantastic. We'll also see the value of USDC is now nearly back at $1, and my USDC trade, as you'll see here, is $14,600 in profit. As I pointed out to you in last week's videos, it was very unlikely that USDC declined to zero, hence why I stuck a fairly significantly sized long position on it. And it paid off, and basically my profit will be the difference between these two numbers here in total. So in net profit, by the time it gets back to $1, should be somewhere around $15,500, which is fantastic news. But also in today's video, now that trade has played out, we've got a few more things to discuss. Of course, what is currently going on with the price of Bitcoin? Am I going to open a Bitcoin trade soon? Because as you'll see here, I have other trades open, one in a small loss, one in a small profit. What are those trades? I'm going to tell you in today's video as well. And of course, we're going to be looking at the price of Xtp, the price of Dafi, and the price of caps. So if that is interesting to you, please do slap a like on today's video. I would appreciate it. Let's try and hit 1,000 likes on this video. It's unlikely that we do that, but do drop a like on it, subscribe, and let's crack straight on. First things first to discuss, USDC is likely going to go back to $1 and it'll complete its rise back up in price today. If we look at the chart for USDC, you see the price drop down very significantly. We placed our long position and now it's rallied all the way back up to where it was previously, and then hopefully it resumes its $1 peg fairly soon. At the same time, we need to discuss the price of Bitcoin. Now, the price of Bitcoin is actually breaking above its resistance right now. That's good news, but we're not out of the woods. We need to close an hourly candle above the level of about $22,700. And that would confirm the breakout. That seems a bit unlikely to me. If it does happen though, it will take us back up to this level right here. And when we get back to this level right here, it's likely that we get rejected again. And I would expect to see something like an inverse head and shoulders pattern start to play out. So my target to go long on Bitcoin is this level right here. And that level is sitting just below $22,000 at $21,950. Failing that, assuming that Bitcoin's price doesn't get down to that level, will I be opening a long position? Well, I would wait to break back in to the next range here. From my perspective right now, the play is to be made on the altcoin markets. And when looking at things like XTP at 39 Satoshis, after a bit of a drop down yesterday, it rallied back up in price overnight, and today it's been as high as 44 Satoshis, currently sat at 39 Satoshis. It's nice and volatile, but the order books on the sell side are looking very, very, very thin. In fact, to increase the price up to around, what, 50? Up to 50? That would take only 6 Bitcoin, only $120,000. And given how much Bitcoin has been generated in terms of volume today on tap, it is quite significant. In fact, if we go over to the Bittrex homepage here and look at the actual volume statistics, we need to generate $120,000 worth of volume. However, the past 24-hour volume has been $1.67 million. So the likelihood of another $120,000 worth of volume coming in, taking the price to the upside, I feel like is quite likely. And so based off that theory, based off the fact that I think altcoins are going to rise, I keep buying more and more and more. I mean, I'm some element of the market support, but at the same time, I'll continue to buy more. I want to really fill some mega bags of this. Other altcoins to discuss, of course, we've got to discuss the price of Dafi. Dafi is actually up 10% today. As I said in yesterday's video, I said the price will likely rise. The price is on the rise again on Dafi. And to be honest, it looks pretty well bottomed out. If you actually plot this out like this, you'll see that essentially we're back on the upside of the downtrend, which is good news. So in theory, we would expect a jump on the price of Dafi up to around 1.7 cents. Later today, maybe tomorrow. I do expect it to continue rising in price, especially if the price of Bitcoin is to continue rising in price. Now, other things to discuss. Of course, we've got to look at the price of Bitcoin in slightly more detail than what we already have done. So if I look at the price of Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart right now, and I'll show you what I kind of drew as a crude drawing, we are looking to go long at this level down here. However, we technically have already come down and tested that level. So the likelihood of that playing out, it's just medium. Like, we're within two ranges. If we break to the upside, there is upside in this. For me, the upside is in the alt markets, like Ethereum. As I keep discussing, like, Ethereum is going to do whatever Bitcoin does. Assuming that Bitcoin consolidates at this level and stays flat, This is the US dollar value of Ethereum. Now, I'd expect the US dollar value of Ethereum to actually start rising because I believe that the Bitcoin value on Ethereum is due another rise to the upside. And you'll see that as Bitcoin's price jumped up yesterday, the Bitcoin value of Ethereum dropped. I think that this has dropped to a level now where it'll start get bought back up again. And I think that Ethereum will start trending positively against Bitcoin. If you actually look at this today, Ethereum versus Bitcoin is down around 1%. Bitcoin is up 2% and Ethereum is only up 1%. At the same time, Bitcoin dominance is up because it's taking a little bit of market share back and the DXY is down. When looking at the DXY though, good news, because if I show you the DXY chart right now, the DXY chart is doing exactly what I said it would do. I said it'd get rejected off this level. You had all the bulls saying, oh, it's going to go back to being bull market. No, this was the last level of which we would fail at. I think this is going to keep dropping throughout the course of this week. With the news that has come from Silvergate and Silicon Valley Bank, essentially what is happening here is amazing news for cryptocurrency. In fact, I've got an article open on my screen, on this other screen. Let me just bring it up right here. Is that the one? That's the one, yes. Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Latest news. Biden says that Silicon Valley Bank executives will be fired and the system is safe. Basically, the US is backing all deposits into Silicon Valley Bank. They're ensuring basically $300 billion of deposits in the bank. That has given a significant change in the financial markets, because it means that the Fed has to come up with $300 billion. I mean, there are still assets within the bank, but it's not $300 billion. It's probably, they'll maybe have to print like $100 billion, $50 billion, something like that. Either way, that devalues the US dollar, and that is good for the stock market, because when the dollar is declining in price, people tend to put money into stocks, into crypto, into risk on assets. At the same time, it should be a bit of a stimulant for the economy. And one of the reasons, as I explained in yesterday's video, why I am so bullish on TAP right now is because when you have a huge displacement of 65,000 customers that we're using Silicon Valley Bank, they're all going to be looking for new US bank accounts. And TAP is launching in the USA in 4 to 6 weeks' time. When that launch happens, I would expect corporate signups on TAP to be very, very significant, and I expect a lot of those signups to happen. Now, if TAP can attract just 1 or 2 whale customers out of something like Silicon Valley Bank, like they've already attracted Bitfinex to launch a debit card on the TAP ecosystem, we're going to see TAP's price increase because of the increased amount of users of the TAP application. It's just inevitable. That's how it works, because the more profit the app makes, the more buyback and burns there are. And the more buyback and burns there are, the more you'll see the price going to the upside, especially given how much interest there is on TAP with $1.6 million worth of volume. I really do feel like right now is a good time for me to be buying it. That's the important thing. For me, it's the right time for me. Anyway, it might not be the right time for you. Maybe it's not the right time for you, but I don't know what your personal situation is. However, I also want to point out that Glimmer has formed a triple bottom, and this is a bit of an inverse head and shoulders bottom. For me, Glimmer is an absolute solid buy right now. That's Moonbeam coin, and I'm buying more Moonbeam coins. So again, not financial advice. You do whatever you want to do. And then there was one more altcoin that I wanted to bring up to you on this particular stream. If I bring it up on stream right now, it's Phantom. When Phantom starts rallying, assuming it breaks the downtrend, it will rally very significantly. Now, for me, I've opened a small Phantom long position. If you actually look at my trades down here, it's the one that's in a loss. This one right here is minus $419. It's a long position on Phantom from 38 cents. Now, I'm not using a crazy mega amount of leverage on this. It's a $47,000 long position on Phantom from 38.4. Currently, the price is 38.07. I'm using $2,600 worth of margin on it, and that's given me a small loss so far. The other trade that I have open here is on GMT. Again, I'm not using a crazy amount of leverage. I know it says 50x, but actually if we go over it, it's actually more like 3x, and on Phantom, it's more like 4x. But essentially, I'm using 3x leverage on GMT. I've got a $50,000 long position from, again, 30 cents, and the current price is 34 cents, yielding a $6,000 profit. Would I be jumping on the GMT trade right now? No, to be honest, I think the ROI on it, the company seemed to pump the coin. That's why I've gone low on that one. Maybe it pumps in a straight line. If you actually look at that chart, when it starts going up, it tends to go in a straight line and then dump down slowly afterwards. So I'm banking on another big move to the upside. It may not happen. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm probably going to take profit on that trade fairly soon so I can siphon the funds into another altcoin trade. And I'm going to be talking about that. I'll probably post a video later on the channel today to explain which other altcoin trades I'm going to take. So for me right now, Phantom is looking like a pretty good trade to be taking. GMT, I'm probably going to close my trade. XTP, I keep buying more of it with the profits that I'm making from trading. Dafi, I keep buying more of it with the profits that I'm making from trading. And the final one that I would want to discuss in today's video, if we type it in up here, is CAPS. So if I go over to CAPS here, you'll be able to see that CAPS price is up 27% today. If we actually look here, the current price is 4.8. Now, I mentioned it in yesterday's video. CAPS is bullish. The price had been completely oversold. It was very ambitious selling. And as it sits right now, the price is in a much, much healthier place. That was an amazing call from my side. I hope you jumped on it. But at the same time, is it time for me to take profits? No, it's not, because CAPS is going to run. If you actually look at this chart here, you'll see that we hit a level of resistance. If I was to draw a line, I can't actually draw a line on this thing, but you can see here, we've got a level of resistance. So we need to break that level of resistance. But the second that the price of CAPS breaks through 5.1 cents, we will likely see another huge rally back to the upside, possibly as high as 7 to 10 cents. Now, I'm bullish on CAPS. I'm going to be posting a video to the channel later this week about it and why I'm bullish on it. I think it's better for me these days to show you the theory behind what I'm doing. I think it's quite beneficial for the audience as well, and basically to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, which is why I'm making these individual videos about individual trades. And if you appreciate that, do drop a like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because this channel is TMG Trades. It's different than the main channel. Now, a couple of other things to discuss before we wrap up today's video would be, of course, Bitcoin looks decent, but it needs to close an hourly candle above the level of $22,700, and Ethereum looks pretty decent, but at the same time, it needs to close an hourly candle above $1,613, which would be this level here. The other thing to point out about Ethereum right now would be that if the VWAP cares to load, we touch the bottom of the VWAP. The VWAP theory seems to be back in play here, because you can see, touch the bottom of the VWAP, bounce, bottom of the VWAP here, and bounce. It seems to be something that's starting to work again. It's not been working now for maybe a week. However, hopefully the VWAP theory is back. Combining the VWAP with the volume bands that you see here, it seems to be a winning strategy overall. So on that note, guys, if you are interested in trading, please check out the tutorial that you see on the screen right now. Have a fantastic day. Hopefully it's profitable for everybody. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.